Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to Shidus Chronicles, and in today's video we are going to be exploring National University of Singapore. We'll be checking out the scholarship opportunities available to international students at this institution. Fun fact, I've actually visited this university before. I walked through the entire campus. I got to explore it. It's a really lovely campus, has a lot of greenery. It's pretty nice, and I enjoyed my time there. Not just in the campus, in Singapore in general. So, without further ado, let's check a little bit about the university. Now, National University of Singapore is a public research institution in Singapore. Um, I can't remember exactly when it was established. I know like the history dates back to like 1907, I believe. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. However, in 1980, there was a merger between University of Singapore and I think it's like a Nanyang University, and that brought about National University of Singapore. But if you would like to explore more about this institution, I highly encourage you to check out their website. There's like the history right here. As we can see, yes, history dates back to 1905. However, in 1980, the National University of Singapore is established with the merger of the University of Singapore and Nanyang University. Awesome. So yeah, and without further ado, let us go over to the scholarships. Now, one thing I would like to highlight with, I believe, Singapore in general, many institutions there have like a term attached to their funding opportunities. Now, it's not all scholarships or financial aid, it differs. But for some of them, they are like service terms attached to the opportunities. So if you get this subsidized fee or if you get this opportunity, this scholarship, you might have to work there after studying for like 2 years. For some, it could be like 3 years, and for some, they're bond free. So, like they noted here, the scholarships available to students are bond free, covers all tuition fees, and annual living allowances. I'm sure there are varying levels of scholarship, but we're going to check them out now. We're starting with undergraduate students. It's loading. I'm not sure why it's taking long to load. All right, I'm gonna open up graduate as well. Oh, okay. I might have to reload this page because it looks a little bit wonky. But since our graduate students are open, I'm gonna start with graduate students. Now, for graduate students, I really like how this page is structured because you can really filter based on your qualification, based on your nationality, and because the focus is on international students in general, I'm going to filter based on that. I'm not going to filter based on programs or scholarship providers because they just let you know what scholarships are available, both scholarships that are funded by external bodies or scholarships that are funded by their institution. And for graduate students, we can see already like there's an NUS research scholarship which is eligible for in PhD students, all nationalities. And when you click on it, they tell you what you need, what the eligibility requirement is, what the criteria is. For instance, you need a good GPA in a relevant bachelor's or master's degree, a well-crafted statement of purpose, letter of recommendation, a comprehensive CV, standardized test scores such as the GRE, and publications or involvement in research projects. And for non-native English speakers, proficiency demonstrated through tests like TOEFL or IELTS. And they said items 1 to 4 are compulsory, items 5 to 7 are optional. However, do note that evidence of strong quantitative, verbal, and analytical skills through GRE scores, as well as indicators of research skills and experience, will significantly strengthen your application. And for the stipend for international students, you get 2,700 Singaporean dollar per month. If you're in the STEM field, and if you're in humanities, you get 2,500 Singaporean dollars per month. And typical award period is like for about 4 years. And for application deadline, they advise you to refer to faculty website for respective application deadlines, and perhaps it varies based on like the semester you're interested in. So yeah, if this is something that is within your purview, you're interested in it, definitely check it out. All right, let us go back to the previous page. Now, this is another opportunity that I would like to highlight, and this is, I believe, sponsored by the Agency for Science, Technology, and Research in Singapore. And this one as well is open to doctoral students. They ask that you have obtained at least a second class honors degree or equivalent in a relevant discipline. And the stipend for this is 4,550 Singaporean dollar per month. And they cover like full tuition fees, monthly sustenance allowance, any other allowance you might need for your study, as well as support for up to 12 months of overseas attachments. Basically, it's a really robust funding opportunity. And there's a service commitment that comes with this scholarship. Remember that I talked about some things that happen in Singaporean universities that have like service commitments to it. Now, for Singaporean and Singaporean permanent residents, there's no service commitment, simply because I guess they're from there. But for non-Singaporeans, you have a 3-year service in Singapore-based companies without commitment to any specific organization. The area of work should preferably be in, I guess, the disciplines that attach to this opportunity. And they have, in terms of like service bonds, it's not like, according to them, no specific bonds requirements, but some might have additional specific bond requirements. But yeah, this is what I was just talking about in terms of like what happens with Singaporean universities at times. Like, there are service commitments if you get a funding opportunity from a particular government body, or you get like a subsidized fee. Now let's check for master students, because there are other opportunities for doctoral students that you can always come and check out. For instance, for master student, there's this CDE Global Fellowship open to master's coursework students. Right, and this particular scholarship right here does not have any specific service commitment or specific bond requirement. And they don't really specify what it covers. It just says stipend details. The typical award period for master's coursework students are 2 years. But I believe that if you have questions, you can always reach out to them, to their admissions office to find out more information. And let me see if I view Brook here, if anything would be involved, or if anything will come out of it. Oh, okay, yeah. When I clicked on the Brook here, it says right here. Roles and benefit ambassadorial roles for graduate coursework program, 40% rebate for international students, and these are this field of studies that are eligible, and there are some additional eligibility criteria, how to apply, terms and conditions, as well as other, I believe, fellowship opportunities on this page. Okay. And then this particular NUSGRT 2 master's scholarship, benefits and bonds. Okay, so scholarship recipients are required to sign a service bond agreement with an obligation to work for at least 24 months in I'm not going to pronounce this because I do not know how to pronounce it, but in a particular district after graduation. You will have 30 months to fulfill this obligation. One award of $45,000 Singaporean dollars towards tuition will be granted to each scholarship recipient. Now, I don't know how all of this works. I don't necessarily know if it's I'm sure they will pay you, because if you work for them, they have to pay, because you need to survive and live and all of that. So I don't really know how all the service and bonds commitment work, but I think if this is something you're interested in, I highly suggest like you do your due diligence and researching before you commit to an opportunity that you're not sure about. Okay, I'm gonna close all this so that we can go back to the previous page. There are other opportunities as well for master's students. This is another one, which is the CIDR Fellowship Grant, and it aims to enable deserving candidates to pursue the Master of Science in Infectious Disease Emergencies. So this one is quite specific, and it is open to all international students. They list like various criteria. There's no specific service commitment. There's no specific bond requirements attached to this one. And the application window is November 1 to April 30. I'm not fully sure of the full, let me see. of this full stipend details. It says no stipend. I don't really understand what this covered, but obviously I guess it's a scholarship opportunity, and if you have questions about what it really covers, I would direct that questions to them, because there's no brochure link here as well. But or maybe I did not read fully. Trying to read financial support initiative, yes. Okay, well, I don't want to waste too much time, but I encourage you coming out to this page and checking out what the opportunities they have that you can take advantage of. They have so many funding opportunities. You can see one here: master scholarship in literature. There's this NUS BAC, like global scholarship, available to those who are interested in studying business analytics. And there are many scholarships sponsored by the school that do not have a bond or service commitment attached to them. So I highly encourage you to check this out. All right, now moving on. I'm done with the graduate students. I'm going back to the undergraduates page. I'm going to refresh, and hopefully okay, the page is loaded correctly now. So for freshman students, going to go ahead and click on the international students. Now they have a plethora of opportunities as well for international students, and it says eligible students will be considered for the following scholarships through their application for admission to NUS. And let's click on the Asian undergraduate scholarships first. So this particular one is open to freshmen from Asian members countries, as well as Singaporean permanent residents. And in terms of eligibility, you have to be a citizen of these countries. Right here, you have to have strong leadership qualities and potential, good co-curricular activities record, possess outstanding high school results, apply for admission to a full-time undergraduate degree on NUS, and transfer applicants from local or overseas universities are not eligible for this opportunity. Now, in terms of the scholarship benefits, 100% coverage of subsidized undergraduate tuition fees. After MOE tuition grant, it says scholarship recipients must take up the MOE tuition grant. Now, there's also a 5,800 Singaporean dollars annual living allowance. This is not per month, this is annual living allowance, and a 1,750 Singaporean dollar one-time computer allowance upon enrollment, as well as a 3,000 Singaporean dollars annual accommodation allowance. And they list a variety of terms and conditions right here. And something I'd like to highlight, it says, why there is no bond attached to the Asian undergraduate scholarships, students are required to take up the MOE tuition grant to receive the scholarship. And Singapore permanent residents and international students who take up the MOE tuition grants will be bonded under the terms of the tuition grant to work for a Singapore registered company for 3 years immediately after graduation. And scholarship recipients admitted to dentistry and medicine will be required to undertake a service bond with the Singapore Ministry of Health for 5 and 6 years respectively. So yeah, this is something to note if you're interested in this opportunity. And how to apply, you're just automatically considered upon application, and if you are shortlisted, you'll be invited. All right, moving on to the next opportunity, which is science and technology undergraduate scholarship. This as well is open to citizens of an Asian country or region. The last one is ASEAN, like the acronym is ASEAN, because my pronunciation might have sounded the same. Pardon me. And this one is ASIAN, so like Asian. And the last one was Asian. I don't know how to pronounce the difference, but we can easily Google right now. So Asian is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So that's what the previous scholarship is for, and this is just for citizens of all Asian all Asian background, of all Asian countries. So in terms of the benefits, 100% coverage of subsidized undergraduate tuition fees after MOE tuition grants. as well. So this definitely we have some sort of bond attached to it. Now why the scholarship itself is bond free, but because you're expected to take up the MOE tuition grant, there is a service bond attached to it. And 100% coverage of subsidized undergraduate tuition fees after MOE tuition grant. And scholarship recipients must take up MOE tuition grant. 6,000 Singaporean dollars annual living allowance. They have a computer allowance, a settling in allowance, and annual accommodation allowance equivalent to the lowest double room rate for on-campus accommodation, as well as travel allowance to defray transportation costs, coming from your home country to Singapore. And they list a plethora of terms and conditions that you need to be aware of, as well as how to apply and the shortlisting process. But you're automatically considered. There's no special process. Now, this is the general NUS International Undergraduate Scholarship, and it is open to citizens of all countries, right, except Singapore. So regardless of where you're from, you can definitely apply to this one if you're an undergraduate first year student, because transfer applicants are not eligible. Same benefits like the others: 100% coverage of subsidized undergraduate tuition fees after the MOE tuition grant has been applied. And the MOE tuition grant is a subsidized fee, and it's also open to international students, the MOE tuition grant. But like I said, it comes to some service commitment. Now, the annual living, you get an annual living allowance, one-time computer allowance, as well as an annual accommodation allowance. This is not as robust as the Asian the science and technology undergraduate scholarship, open to all Asian countries. And in terms of terms and condition, I outline it here. Just because of the MOE tuition grant, there's a bond attached to it where you have to work for a Singapore registered company for 3 years after graduating, and you're automatically considered upon applying to the institution. And I am gonna click on scholarship for freshmen administered by NUS faculty. They also have other scholarships offered by external organizations or offered by their faculties, schools, or colleges that you can check out and see which ones you might be eligible for as an international student. And yeah, let's go back to this. 1 sec. Oopsie. I am trying to navigate my way to the financial aid page. All right, so they also have financial aid available at this institution, and it says undergraduate students who are offered and have not rejected the Ministry of Education tuition grants for their undergraduate studies qualify for NUS financial aid package if they are, of course, Singapore citizens or permanent residents. There's an income requirement, or international students with PCI up to 1,200 Singaporean dollars. So this is PCI means per capita income, and there's a way they calculate it. So if this is something that you're interested in, I encourage you to just come explore this page and try to understand what all these funding opportunities entail. And if you have questions, you're not sure of something, I believe you can always reach out to them and try to find out more if there's something that is not clear to you. So yeah, but at the end of the day, you can always shoot your shot, apply, and see what comes out of it. It's not guaranteed, but you can just apply and try to see what options are, if it's something you can get. And if you do get it, you can always try and be okay, I don't want to commit myself to this. Awesome. And with that, people, we've come to the end of this video for today. If you find it helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel if you're watching without subscribing, and not forget to leave a comment in the comment section if you found this video helpful. And that is it, people, for today. Have a great week ahead.